Welcome back to another video. It's me, Cynthia. So you might be wondering to yourself, I have more than one child and you're talking about homeschooling. I can only imagine what it's like to homeschool more than one kid. Well, guess what? I have two kids and I'm going to show you, I'm going to explain to you how I go about homeschooling multiple children in different grade levels. So without further ado, let's get into the video. There are three top skills that you need if you're going to homeschool multiple children. And the very first skill with lesson planning. And there are 5 sections to a lesson plan that I think that you should utilize if you're going to be doing something with multiple children in different grade levels at one time during homeschooling. The very first thing is an introduction on the subject. So you want to give an umbrella concept of what the subject's about, the definition, the vocabulary, all of the different things, the meat and the bones that go inside of the subject so that your kids know what to expect. The very next thing you want to do is a together activity, something that will bring it all together and to cause more clarity on the subject. You dive into your independent worksheets. And getting into these independent worksheets, that's when those daily binders come in handy. They just open their binder. Each one of my kids have one. They open the binder. They have their rip out worksheets from the workbooks that I purchased ahead of time, flip through the table of contents, and chose exactly what needs to go into that binder for that particular day, for that particular subject, for that particular lesson plan, for that particular unit. Yes, it's that particular. That's exactly how I did it. That sounds funny. But it's true. It's that particular. That's exactly how I did it. So the next thing you want to do after you do the independent activity is do a hands-on activity about that. So that could be an experiment when it comes to science. It could be a science experiment. It could be something with social studies where you're going out into the community and doing something, maybe volunteering at a food pantry, maybe volunteering at the fire department. There's a lot of different things that kids can do to get involved in their community aside from just doing social activities and getting involved in sports. And I know a lot of people worry about socialization with homeschooling, but I'm not going to worry about that right now in this video. In the meantime, what you're going to do is do a hands-on activity, and it could be anything like that that can be considered something social. Then you wrap it all up and you answer any questions that they may have about that particular subject. So if you're talking about the solar system, for example, and they have questions about the sun and all of the stars around the sun and things like that, then you're going to answer more questions about that. So it's good for you to do further research on the subjects so that you know exactly what you have to do ahead of time and that you're not confused and you're like, I don't know. And if you don't know, that's still okay because the Google is your best friend and you can still Google things on the spot and show your kids that you don't have all the answers and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? The second skill is tapping in to educational resources that are either free or cheap or something that whatever's within your budget. So some of the educational resources that I use in my homeschool, number one is education.com. I love education.com. No, they did not sponsor this video. If they would like to, that would be great, but they did not sponsor this video. So what I would like to talk about with education.com is that they have guided lessons, they have printable lesson plans, they have workbooks that you can print out, worksheets that you can print out. You can literally search anything on their website and something will pop up regarding that category or that subject that you are interested in, and you can just take it, pull from it, and create a lesson plan, add it to a unit that you're interested in if you're interested in the human body, oceans, whatever, the solar system, things like that. I love that it's all printable. And then there's hands-on games. Here's what they look like. I have a few educational games, and these educational games I like because they have spelling involved, there's counting. I have the all ready for kindergarten system for ages 4 to 6 for my kindergartner. He's going into kindergarten this year. Then there's independent reading. I love independent reading. It's the best time ever. It's the quietest time ever. For the 20 to 30 minutes that you have independent reading, it's good for you to get time to read and read the book that you've been dying to read or the only time that you get quiet to actually read. And then it's good for your children to see firsthand what homeschooling looks like when you're doing reading independently and quietly, and you get to lead by example in that way. So that's then there's workbooks. I'm using Spectrum's workbooks, Scholastic, Big Kindergarten, and Big Second Grade this year, but there are plenty of different workbooks that you can use. You can go to the library and get books. You can find books secondhand at Goodwill or any thrift store or the online secondhand homeschooling. I can't remember the website off the top of my head, but I'll add it in the link in the description box. Lastly, I think a good resource is using Homeschool Pop videos. I think Homeschool Pop is a great channel. If you're not familiar with it, I'll also leave that link in the description box, but that's a great resource to add to your curriculum when you are adding in lesson plans and you're creating a unit on like the ocean or the human body or the solar system or whatever you're adding a unit on. You can do lesson plans and pull from these videos inside of their channel and add them into your curriculum. The third skill that you're going to need is create a plan to organize. And the way I've organized my homeschool is by using a daily binder. And I showed you that before, and you just have a folder for each day and you just put the worksheets inside. It's super, super easy. I have another video that I'll link right here or right here, whichever way it shows up, in the cards, where you can see how I plan and organize for the homeschool year. It's best to use an organization system that works best for you and your family, and creating a schedule that works best for you and your family. I have a video on creating a schedule, either a time schedule or a block schedule, whichever one works best for you. I suggest trying both and seeing what works, because you'll be surprised what actually works for your family. I use a block schedule, and I'll show you what that actually looks like. We do our lesson plans like this, and then when you're looking at the lesson plans, I have my son do something a little bit different from my daughter at certain times, and we have weekly subjects that we do rotate through as we are doing our lesson plans. And lastly, emphasize the importance of independence with your children. I know when they're little, it's super hard to have them be independent because they're really mommy. But when they get a little bit older, you can still foster independence at the age they are now, and they'll get even more independent later on, and it'll be even better for you that way. So if you like this video, smash the like button and feel free to share it with other family and friends that you know are homeschooling. Consider subscribing. Hit the notifications bell if you do subscribe so that you don't miss any of the content whenever I upload. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!